Hey, what's up? I'm Coach Ryan, family in the Viper Pit. Today, I want to wish a very Merry Christmas to the big booty HO-HO-HOs. Oh, that's terrible. I'm really sorry, Mom, for saying hoes and disrespecting women. Sorry, Jesus, too. No, in all seriousness, today's video is about glute training. I just threw the Santa Claus hoe thing in. Don't get mad at me. It's just bad sense of humor, all right? I'm not a comedian. I'm a strength coach. Anyway, today I want to talk about glute training. I see a lot of females in the gym who are really trying to develop their glutes, build some shape, build some lift, build some toning, if you will. And I see them going about it all wrong. And a lot of that is because of the stigma that lifting heavy weights will turn you into a man. And that's just simply not the case. So when I see a lot of people training glutes, and a lot of them are following their favorite Instagram fitness celebrity who, newsflash, probably has a great butt because of her genetics, not because of her training. And these individuals are doing thousands of different glute exercises with a little booty band around the knees, turning every machine in the gym into a glute exercise. And your lack of results in your glute training is not due to a lack of creativity in your programming. It's due to a lack of progress on the most effective exercises to tax the glutes, okay? And so really, to keep it quite simple, you only need 4 exercises for your glutes. I'm gonna give you the categories here, and then later on in the video, I'm gonna show you a couple options in each category. What I want you to do for the next 6 months to a year is pick 1 to 2 movements from each category and get brutally strong in them. Yes, strong in terms of the amount of weight you can lift. It will not turn you into a man, I promise you that. You are simply going to develop shape to your bottom half, and that's all we're talking about here, is developing shape. So again, a lot of people get lost and they try to hit all the angles and do all these crazy things. You really only need a handful of things to maximally tax the glutes. And the other thing is, each set needs to be challenging. Another mistake that a lot of ladies make, and men to be honest, when trying to train their glutes, is they keep rest periods super short and almost keep it in like a constant motion to try to get the burn. That's actually the wrong, I don't want to say wrong, there's a time and a place for that kind of training, but the bulk of your training should actually be to do a hard set where you give the most effort you can within that set, and then take a long rest to completely recover before doing the next set, all right? And that's what I don't see a lot of people doing, and that's why a lot of people are struggling with progress. So let's get into the 4 categories. Again, I'm gonna talk through some examples, and then I will show you some examples on video shortly after this. The first category is end range hip extension, or training the glutes when in the contracted position where the leg is essentially behind the body and there's still load on the tissues. Those things, we're talking about glute bridges, we're talking about hip thrusts, we're talking about reverse hyperextensions, we're talking about horizontal back extensions there. Those are all good options to train that fully shortened glute position. With a straight leg, you're gonna get a little more hamstring involvement. So your horizontal back extension, reverse hyper, you get more hamstrings in there as well, which is fine. Hamstrings should be trained properly too. The bent knee versions, your glute bridge and your hip thrust are gonna be more directly targeted to the glutes, okay? Contracted position movements are best for recruiting the motor units within the glutes. So if you have a hard time feeling your glutes contract, those shortened range contractions are going to be best for increasing the mind muscle connection or getting neuromuscular recruitment to the proper gluteal muscles. From there, the next one is end range hip flexion, or that shouldn't say shortened, that should say stretched. That was wrong. It says shortened position, it should say stretched position. We're looking at the stretch position, or where you're more bent over, where you're getting a stretch on the gluteal tissue. What we're looking at there are things like Romanian deadlifts, 45-degree back extensions, good mornings, things of that nature. Muscles respond really well to mechanical tension, so how much tension you're placing on the muscles, which largely is a byproduct of load. That's why you can't be afraid to get strong on these exercises. And the other aspect is mechanical tension under stretch, under a deep stretch position. So that's why things like your Romanian deadlifts and your good mornings are going to be big money makers. Also, you can also include deep squats in this category. I'm not including really squats as a category. I know, sacrilege to some, but you do not have to barbell squat in order to develop awesome glutes. If you do choose to squat, it's probably best to squat deep, as all the research shows that for better gluteal development, you want to have a deep squat as low as you can possibly go while maintaining a good neutral lumbar spine. But a squat could be in this category of end range hip flexion. And then the next one is going to be unilateral movement. Why unilateral movement? Well, anytime you go on one leg in a step-up variation, in a split squat variation to a lesser degree, you are maximally recruiting the gluteus medius muscle, kind of on the side of the hip, the side and the back of the hip. So for complete development, you need to include some type of walking lunges, step-ups, split squats, things of that nature. And then the final category is direct hip abduction, and I should also put here, I'm going to put a slash in green. Look at this, my Christmas colors, red and green. I didn't even plan it that way. Hip abduction and extension. So gluteus medius is going to be most active when the leg is behind the body and then abducted out to the side. So I'll give you a couple options for that as well. So those are the only 4 types of exercises you need for your glute workouts. Your entire glute workout consists of 4 exercises between 1 to 4 to 5 sets of each. Probably only, if you really push the envelope and you're getting stronger week to week, you really only need 1 to 2 sets of each. Okay, insider tip right there. But you have to work so hard that it's challenging. Here's what you're gonna do though. You're gonna pick your exercises from each category. Again, 1 to 2, and you're gonna commit to those for the next 6 months to a year. All right, you're not gonna change the exercises for that length of time. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna get brutally strong in those exercises in the 6 to 25 repetition range. If you add 100 pounds to your 6 repetition max in the hip thrust, you're gonna have more well-developed glutes. If you add 50 pounds to your 25 rep max barbell Romanian deadlift, you're gonna have more well-developed glutes, okay? So we wanna try to gradually add load to those over time. There's a million different ways you can program these rep ranges. You could do it in phases where you do lighter weights and progress to heavier weights over time. You could do an undulating where you alternate between sets of 20, sets of 6, sets of 15, sets of 10, etc. Bunch of different ways you can program it, but just keep a workout journal, keep your log, and make sure you're always driving your loads, driving your weights up within those repetition ranges, and keep track and make yourself better over time. It's called progressive overload. And that's what a lot of these booty band workouts are missing. They have no idea how much load they're lifting with the bands, and they have no idea, they have no ability to progress it. Yeah, you can get a little bit heavier band, but a lot of the band work isn't even training your glutes. It's training the deep rotators of the hips, okay? So these are gonna be your key money makers for proper glute development. Now I wanna get in and I'm gonna show you some of the exercises in each category. Okay, ideally you'll do this one against a wall, but the big thing I want to illustrate here is that my leg is behind my body. I'm not just lifting straight up to the side, I'm actually abducting the hip while it's in hip extension. So my hips are forward, my leg is back behind the body, and then you do the sideline leg raise from here. And you would go ideally up a wall, but this box is all I got to demonstrate here. And you could add ankle weights to that boy, to that bad boy if you want, to try to chase progression. It will not take a lot, especially at the beginning. Okay, again, that did not cover every possible glute exercise that you could put in your rotation that would be effective. Those are just a few of my favorites, ones that are time tested and proven to help improve your strength over time. Remember, get strong at these. Do not be afraid to add weight to these as you progress. That's how this whole thing works. That's how you develop shape to your glutes. That's how you develop tone, if you will, is getting stronger over time, eating good nutritious food, staying tight on your diet, and just training very, very hard at the basics. Again, you don't need to turn this into a super sweaty, where you're keeping rest periods super short, doing 1,000 sets. Work really, really, really hard within your work set, and then take a nice long rest before your next work set, okay? I promise you, you do this correctly, you will dramatically change the shape of your glutes over the next 6 months to a year. I'm Coach Ryan Family from the VIPAR Pit. If you like this video, please hit subscribe below, and I'll catch you next time.